So let's move on now to some of the other parts. The soft chords, not sure if I got the tone exactly right on these, but and what I've gone for here in this sound is we've got one oscillator and I've got it set to the basic MG. The main reason for that is because it has this nice thin pulse wave or square wave, and you can make it even thinner if you wanted to. It makes it sound a little bit like a saw wave, has like a similar quality. At the end of this section, the filter kind of rises up. And if you listen to the original track, it doesn't really sound like a saw wave, and it definitely doesn't sound like a square wave. So I thought this was a nice in-between. Unisons turn up to 2. Got the detune on quite low. We've got a bit of noise in the background. And then we have our filter here. So low 24 mg. The cutoff is being modulated actually by a macro over here. Nothing else really going on. And then in the effects section, I've also got a filter in here, which is a high pass, and it's also being modulated by a macro. The low pass and the high pass combined together kind of makes a band pass in a way, but I find that using it in this way does give you a little bit more control because you can move and change the width of that band. To be honest, looking back on it now, I probably could have used one of the multi options in here, like the LH12 there. And the macro is, as I said, automating up, doing this big bend at the end, which is not only bringing up the low pass here, but it's also bringing up our high pass, so we get brighter but thinner. A few other interesting things about this though. We have envelope 2 set up so there's no sustain, no attack, quite a fast decay, and we're using this to modulate the tuning of our master tune. And this is what's creating the bend at the beginning. Whenever you're doing this kind of bend upwards though, you set your envelope up like we've done here, but when you set the modulation up inside the matrix here, you want to set the amount to be negative, and that means instead of the pitch going up with the envelope and then back down, it goes the other way, opposite, so it goes down and then back up, so you end up at the correct note. You can see we've got our macros in here too, but we've also got this chaos. So I think the original part might have had some kind of tape emulation plugin or something like that on the track. And what happens every now and again is you get these kind of slight changes in pitch. They kind of go up a little bit, down a little bit, but it's called wow or flutter, these very slight movements in pitch. Now again, to keep everything inside of Serum, to hopefully show you something new, I ended up modulating the master tuning with the chaos modulation source. It's kind of just like a random generator. If I turn this up quite a bit, you can hear it's like bending the pitch up and down at these kind of random intervals. We've got it set to quite low, but what I also did on the auxiliary source, I also set this to be Chaos 1. The auxiliary source controls the amount of modulation that's happening over to the left. So the Chaos 1 is controlling how much of this modulation is taking place. Outside of that, I've got a Valhalla room on this as well. It had a slightly interesting effect where it sounded like it was in a very close space too. Very short reverb, and again I've got an LFO tool to automate on and off. So the sub bass, as I said before, is pretty simple to be honest. We have this square wave type of shape. I've got a filter which is being modulated by envelope 2 with a similar shape to our stabs above. A little bit of drive, as you can see there on the sound, and inside the effects I've also got a little bit of tube distortion, and then I've also got a filter in here, a low pass 6, just to take out some of those really high frequencies so they don't get in the way of the stabs above. Envelope 1 is pretty much the same too, that longer attack, short decay. And then we've got the alt bass, and the alt bass straight away, as soon as I heard it, it sounded like an FM synth sound. It just has that nice percussive FM quality about it. So I'm using operator here, envelope B going into A, a coarse value or a harmonic of 4, and then C is actually just on its own. It's its own carrier because I've got it set in the routine matrix in the bottom right here. So without B, it's just a sine wave, of course, but with B. And the envelope in here, a lower sustain, fast decay. The envelope in A is no sustain, like a medium length decay there. I wanted to add in this extra oscillator. Just to add in that slight extra tone on the 5th harmonic. Again, it's just what the original sounded like when looking through an analyzer. The filter, I've actually got this set to a high pass. Take out a lot of the low frequencies, and then I'm doing some pitch envelope modulation. No attack, very, very fast decay, and it's going up to 12 semitones above and then back down to 0. Without it, with it, just that little extra snap makes it really cut through in the mix. And then a little bit of compression. And then a saturator just to beefing everything up a little bit. And that's all of the different synthesizers. If we look on the drum bus, I've got some relatively simple drum bus stuff going on. I've got a long attack compressor on at the beginning, kind of like my glue compressor. Doing minimal amounts of gain reduction, really only a decibel. I've then got a compressor in parallel mode here, doing very fast attack release compression with a very low dry wet mix. Just bringing out all of the quieter parts in between. I then got saturator just after it. This is going to just help bring the volume back up to where it was originally, and of course provide a little bit of extra harmonics and snap. One of the more interesting things about this song is the actual mix and master, because the original mix and master of the track is quite heavily distorted. You can hear a lot of the elements kind of bouncing like in and out, especially when the kick drum plays and when the chords play. Even the difference between the chords in the build-up and the chords in the drop makes it actually seem like there is a lot of distortion and compression happening in those main sections. And to be honest, personally, I think it is like just the tiniest bit too much distortion. But of course, that track has been mastered. This track has been mastered a little bit, as you'll see now. What I actually decided to do was do some mix bus processing. This is just everything together. I normally do it on your main track, but because I've got the reference in here, I didn't want to do that. And on here, I've got a few fancy plugins from UAD. I've also got 2 limiters at the end. So just to show you, I've got this UAD Fairchild 660. The thing I love about this plugin is cranking up the input gain and then turning the threshold down. So you're not doing loads of compression. Still doing a fair bit, getting up to about 2 or 3 decibels there in total. But driving the input gain, if we look at the in dial here, you can see the volume's really going over into this red area, and it just means that it's going to be adding extra distortion again, which was part of the original unit. Set the time constant, kept it on 1 to be honest, whatever the default was, and then just adjusted the output. But I've also turned the mix down to about 50% there, so it's not completely squashing my whole mix. Even though thinking about it, I might turn that up a bit more. It's just easy to use, to be honest. That's the main reason I like using this. And then I've also got the other UAD plugin, which is the Studer A800 tape machine. The first thing I thought of when I heard this song was tape distortion, tape compression, saturation, and all that other stuff. It just sounded like it had been run through a tape machine. A lot of people are probably going to get very annoyed at me doing this, but it's really over here in the red. It actually ducks some of the higher frequencies, which is quite nice, and it adds that really nice distortion on the diva stabs on the edge there. And then I've done some limiting here just to really match it up with the original track. I've done some limiting here. So for the first limit, I've got in soft clip mode, which is just like a clipper. You could use a clipper if you wanted to, like K-clip. And then the second limiter I've got in just the standard mode, but I've actually set it to mid-side routing so that the limiting is separate on the mid and the side bands. And you'll see that because the left-hand side here is the mid channel, anything that's basically in the center of the mix. And then the right channel is the side one, which is all the wide stuff. With this, without even. The great thing about this is it obviously limits everything in that mid band, like a really solid focus in the center of the track, but it also will increase the volume of the side bands because they're not being limited as much as if you had it set in this left and right mode there. And honestly, all this stuff is just fairly quick. It's really just to get everything to sound loud. But I found that quite interesting is that a lot of the distortion in the track actually comes from what's happening at the master stage or even on the mix bus rather than the individual plugins. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. It was a real deep dive into the song, and again I didn't focus too much on like the rest of the song just because these elements I thought were just the best parts of it. The synth sound, the diva stabs, is probably one of my favorite sounds I've heard in quite a while. It's not like a crazy wild like dubstep bass or like a jump up sound, but it just has so much character that I just wanted to show it off to you, how you can make it as well. As I said earlier on, all the presets and the samples from the drums will be down in the description below. There won't be some things that are unedited, samples that I've used like the scratching sound for example, but everything that I can give to you will be in the description below. At the moment this is our winter sale, 30% off on our Live 12 course, which is mainly for beginners, but you might be interested, so you can have a look at that too in the description. Plus we've also got 25% off all one-to-one packages, custom, 25% off until the 12th of January, I believe. So take a look at that in the description below. And if you have any suggestions for videos, songs, breakdowns, topics, anything, drop it in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video too, because it does really help us out. And I'll see you in the next one.